this sector away from Tesla is just sheer hell right now.
Oh, well, in Rivian's case, I think it's not an industry problem. I think with Rivian, it's a Rivian problem.
Tesla is the largest AI project in the world.
So, after the event, frankly, I always expect these things to sell off.
All that and more. So let's get to it.
Let's talk a little Rivian, Jim, because the company stock is going to be down after they pulled in production numbers a bit, citing a shortage of a shared component on the R1 and RCV platforms.
All right, the reason I thought that was interesting was because they were going to do 50,000, maybe 52,000. It looks like they're going to do 47,000, 49,000. It doesn't sound like it's a demand problem. It sounds like it's a part problem. The reason I point that out is because the demand problem at Ford is bad, the demand problem EV, GM, no, I'm talking about EV, not hybrid. And David, EVs everywhere are under this turmoil. I mean, Europe just put through you got these tariffs
on the Chinese EVs,
so,
correct?
Yeah. I want to believe that Rivian's right, because I think Rivian's terrific. Remember, they got the tie with Amazon. I want to believe that they're right, that it's a part, not demand. But I don't know, David. This sector away from Tesla is just sheer hell right now.
An absolute gem from Jim Cramer. Outside of Tesla, the EV space looks rather bleak. Could it possibly be both a part issue and a demand issue? I mean, the Cybertruck theoretically is outselling their entire company alone. That's gotta say something, right? Now, don't get me wrong, Rivian has a riveting product, I'm sure. I'm not gonna get one. In my eyes, Rivian has two main problems. One, every vehicle they sell, they're not making any money off of. I don't see this changing until the cost to produce their vehicles comes down significantly. I don't care how many they sell. No amount of economies of scale is going to help them reduce the COGS. Like Tesla, they're going to have to engage in the game of pennies and lower their cost any way they possibly can. Simplicity is the answer. Which brings me to Rivian's second main problem. The technology, software inside their vehicles is lackluster. I mean, I say that because I own a Tesla. And it's absolutely the best software I interact with on a daily basis. Hands down. Phone, computer, it doesn't matter. It is the best software I engage with on a daily basis. Rivian needs to be more than just a lateral step from internal combustion engine to EV. It needs to be revolutionary. It needs to leave no doubt that this is the superior truck that you want to be in. And you're just not getting that. It's a lovely vehicle and an awesome alternative if you plan on buying a regular internal combustion engine. But it doesn't hold a candle to what Tesla is offering when it comes to the EV truck. Not only is the Cybertruck eye-catching, it has all the best technology you could ever want inside of a vehicle. It is literally the best thing on four wheels once you add FSD. Now, Rivian doesn't need to be as good as Tesla, but they definitely need to be efficient when it comes to the manufacturing process and start making any kind of money when it comes to producing these vehicles. Problem is, this isn't as easy as Tesla makes it look.
The drop at the open is not as bad as it was in the pre-market. At some point in the third quarter, there was a significant supplier issue that got worse. We don't know what that is. We don't know if it relates to a specific part. We just know that it relates to the Enduro electric motor or drive unit that Rivian manufactures in-house. And it's a really kind of change in the picture for this EV name, because if you think about it, the production guidance of 47,000 to 49,000 would actually represent a drop of 18% from what they managed to build last year. This was a company that was kind of on the up a little bit. They're expecting to build prior to this morning 57,000 units this year, and they continue to demonstrate teething problems that they can't get past.
And of course, marrying this together with what we learned from Tesla earlier in the week, of course, missing its target when it comes to third quarter deliveries. You actually have Tesla shares up a little bit right now, but actually down 5% for the week. How do these two stories wrap together?
Oh, well, in Rivian's case, I think it's not an industry problem. I think with Rivian, it's a Rivian problem. They're not being that open or transparent or detailed on what's actually going on with this specific part or where the issue is stemming from. You know, Tesla were not prescriptive on their miss. I go back to the granular detail that we discussed on this program, which is that 3 and Y, which are the volume models that Tesla makes, came in above sell-side expectations. That other bucket, which includes Cybertruck X and X, X and S came in below expectations. Both names, Rivian, which is a niche, lower volume player, but Tesla specifically, have suffered in a higher rate environment because it's put a premium on electric vehicles. Tesla has had the lever of heavily incentivizing consumers that Rivian doesn't have the luxury of doing. It burns too much cash, can't do it. So it will be interesting to see if there is a big picture industry theme here, but I think Rivian's problems are their own.
Mighty convenient that there's a part issue. I mean, you don't want to see their vehicles just piling up and then no one buying them or opting to buy a Cybertruck. It's gonna be tough sledding for not only Rivian, but other EV trucks. And as Tesla starts to produce these non-Foundation series vehicles, we might see an impact on internal combustion engine trucks as well.
These guys are not in a position to miss. They're just not. The stock's been one way ever since they got the number from VW. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good chit in the EV game.
No. Meanwhile, when it comes to EVs next week, we're going to be talking about the Robotaxi meeting and how important that will be for Tesla and its future.
You know, Carl, the Robotaxi, I think, is so significant because it's beginning to get a lot of traction in a lot of different cities. And when that happens, I think people are going to realize it's much cheaper than Uber.
Whoa, we don't want to talk about Robotaxi just yet. Kathy, what you got for me?
Autonomous mobility, think 1010, October 10th here. That is going to focus analysts not just on AVs, but on the autonomous opportunity. Tesla is the largest AI project in the world.
Yeah.
Talk about shifting resources from NVIDIA into Tesla. We think longer term, that is going to prove to be a very good move.
Man, it seems like all anybody can talk about when they're thinking about Tesla is the Robotaxi event. But should we temper our expectations? I mean, it's just a car company, right?
Tesla likes to host events. They've hosted Artificial Intelligence Day, famously had the man in a dancing robot suit in 2021. They've hosted a Battery Technology Day. And on April 5th, Elon Musk sort of out of the blue said, we're gonna do Robotaxi Day. So on October 10th, what are they gonna do? Well, nobody really knows. It's in Hollywood. I believe it's at the studio that filmed Desperate Housewives, so that's a fun fact. Minimum expectations, we see a physical Robotaxi unveiled. We see them lay out plans for when Tesla Robotaxi service could begin. And so that would be really the first time that Tesla vehicles are driving unsupervised on roads in cities maybe like Austin or Los Angeles. And then we should hear Tesla talk about how they plan to make money from this, whether they want to sell Teslas to people like Uber and have them operate them, whether they want to operate their own network of robotaxis. And then the last thing everybody always wants is they want some Easter eggs. Hopefully we'll see a lower priced Tesla that they plan to start selling next year. Everyone tends to call that the Model 2, lower priced car, probably starts under 30,000.
No, assholes call it the Model 2. Let me be clear. There is no Model 2. As far as minimum expectations go, this is about right. This is a Robotaxi unveil. So bare minimum, you're gonna see a vehicle. Maybe two. A Robotaxi service start date, this is where things start to get a little bit murky. Me personally, I'd be shocked if they were like, by Q4 of 2026, we plan to have launched this in X amount of cities. Look, we're talking about developing a technology that's never been done before. Not in this fashion anyway. Waymo, what they're doing is pretty nice. It's got its own uses. Baidu and whoever the else is doing this with LiDAR, radar, and all those other expensive sensors, those things have a purpose. Then there'll be millions all over the world capable of going anywhere from point A to point B, and then oops, Tesla has disrupted yet another industry. The Robotaxi service business model, however, is something that is quite feasible. Quite frankly, I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like inside the app, at least in a beta format. Will Tesla owners be able to add and subtract their own personal vehicles to the fleet all willy-nilly like they said? I suppose all will be revealed in about a week. As for the next generation model that tend to call the Model 2, maybe we get that, maybe we don't, but something tells me that a higher total addressable market vehicle that consumers are going to be able to purchase might need its own unveil day, but that's just me.
Those 3 or 4 things, that's what Tesla needs to do to just sort of meet basic expectations for October 10th. Tesla stock coming into the week was up about 25% over the past month. A lot of that was optimism around Robotaxi Day. As analysts write preview notes, this is how big the opportunity can be. This is the value we ascribe to robotaxis. This is how close we feel Tesla is. So a lot of the potential good news from Robotaxi Day is in the stock. So after the event, frankly, I always expect these things to sell off. If the stock is down 5% after Robotaxi Day, I would feel totally comfortable writing, that's a great reaction. People were really impressed with what they saw, right? Because that sell-off is natural. And, if you look over the past month or month and a half, the stock would still be up. If, it's more like 10 or 12% down the day after or in the days following Robotaxi Day, then you sort of got to say to yourself, Elon didn't hit it out of the park. There was something that happened that made investors a little concerned about the path for robotaxis.
There will no doubt be some selling pressure after the event, and I'll be there to scoop up as many shares as I possibly can. In conclusion, as Rivian lowers their production goals for the year, they're finding out, much like everyone else trying to make battery electric vehicles, this as easy as Tesla makes it look. Would love to see Rivian survive, but at this rate, it's going to be one hell of a process just to get profitable. RJ Scaringe is going to have to tap his inner Elon Musk and kiss that company. Keep it simple, stupid. On 1010, we're going to look at the vehicle that's going to transform Tesla from a mere automotive company to an even greater profit machine than it already is, further cementing my thought process that this will be the most valuable company in a decade's time. That's all I've got for you today. Maybe. Be easy. Peace.